Hey, this is Regina Favors with a new series titled "Don't Move Him In." It is part of my Overcoming Life Setback Series that I've been working on for a good year, and I also have a blog article on this title, and then a collection of blog articles that I put into a book titled "Life Recovery After Romantic Hastiness." But this is a series that I want to address the idea of women moving men into their homes. As much as we are grown and as much as we have every right to make any free will choice that we want to make as women, it is important to really consider the idea that when you move someone into your home, especially a man who is also a grown adult man, then it speaks a lot to your inability to understand that you are moving in someone who has not established himself, especially if the person has is being paroled or leaving jail or prison or something like that, and they've never actually ever had their own place. You are sort of filling in the gaps for that person, but that person is skipping very important steps in life. Um, Here it is. You have a job. You kept a job. You kept a place of your own. You pay for your car. You pay for food. If you have a child, you take care of your child. You do all of the adult responsibilities that are necessary to maintain yourself as an adult. And if there are times where you may need a little bit of help, then you ask for help. But you pretty much know how to take care of yourself. But when you move in a man, that is not the same case. As much as you think that he is a grown man and he can take care of himself, you absorb a lot of his mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, and financial responsibilities. He never goes through the process learning how to be an adult. He just, say, for instance, he decided to commit crimes when he was 16, 17, 18 years old. Then he ended up going to jail or prison for maybe 5 to 10 years, and then he gets out. He is missing a lot of the adult responsibility necessary to carry himself as an adult because he just went from um, his mother's home or his father's home, or if there were two parents in the home, his parents' home, to the jailhouse. And then the jailhouse took care of him, sheltered, clothed, fed him. He had a bunk, in the cell, and then he can go out to recess and play. So, in other words, he's essentially still the same kid that he left right before he went to jail, right before he went to prison. He has no real sense of an understanding of responsibility. Sure, he might have been assigned a chore while he was in jail and he had to meet that responsibility, but that is not life responsibility when the jailhouse or the prison house or the correctional system is still paying for the lights, still paying for his clothes, still paying for the cot or the mattress that he sleeps on, still paying for any kind of covers they give him, any kind of underwear, t-shirts, socks, uh, paying for the food. In many cases, they prepare the food. He doesn't even prepare the food. Paying for the food. Some little job that he has there, right? That he earns maybe 75 cents a week or something. I don't know. Um, and he's told what to do. He's told to file in a single line. He's told to repeat his inmate number. He's marched down to the cafeteria place. He's marched to the recess area. He's in other words, he's being told what to do. He doesn't know how to supervise himself. He doesn't know how to tell himself what to do. So when you think about this question, what is his problem, before you decide to offer moving into your house as a solution to what you think is his problem, that suggests to you, or that should suggest to you, that you really don't understand his problem. What you understand is that you want a man in the house. You want a man to help you with your kids. You want a man to have sex with. You want a man so you can tell your friends that you have a man. You want a man because your friend got married, and maybe you have a little bit of jealousy towards your friend. Your friend got her husband bought her a house and bought her a new car, and now you want her life, or you want to look like what she has going on with her life. But her husband didn't go to jail. Or even if he did, say for instance, he did go to jail. Okay, he's been out. He learned how to live as an adult. He took care of himself. And then he made an adult decision to marry your friend. And now they are moving forward, right? And so, regardless, your man that you're trying to bring home to make a man, or to make an adult, or to make responsible, is not the same man as your friend's man. And when you are trying to answer a problem, here it is. First of all, you got to recognize that it is a problem. The problem is, if we look at the context of a man who jumps from bed to bed, who jumps from house to house, never keeps a house, never keeps a job, who is now getting out of prison, not getting out of jail, who has been in and out of jail. You have to call the problem what it actually is. He is an unstable individual. He does not want to work. He begs like a vagabond. He wanders about from bed to bed, from post to post, from person to person. He has no sense of stability or discipline. He wants to do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't want to follow the rules. He doesn't want to live as a responsible, stable, financially uh, stable, mentally sound individual. He would rather um, commit a crime, risk his own life by going to jail for that crime, ride that out for however long he's been sentenced, and then come back out, live a good, maybe good 2 or 3 months, do something again to get himself back in jail, and then he repeats the exact same process. So now you are being weighted down emotionally, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, and financially, because his decision making, or bad decision making, is now affecting your mind. His bad decision making is now affecting your psychology. His bad decision making is now affecting your spirituality. His uh, bad decision making is affecting your finances. These are your finances. This is not something that you both are boyfriend and girlfriend living in your mama's house, and your mama um, is taking care of all the bills. No, you have to take care of the bills. You have to take care of your shelter costs, your food costs, your transportation costs, any insurance costs, kids costs, child care costs. And now you are essentially adding another mouth to feed when you move him in. The best solution to this type of thinking is to begin with you first. Why do you feel it necessary to move him into the house? What is going on with you where you feel like this is okay? Did you feel a fear that if you didn't move him in, you would lose him? Did you feel a fear that if you didn't move him in, you would never have sex again? Did you feel a fear that if you didn't move him in, that you wouldn't be able to have maybe like a person to help you with your kids? Or did you feel a fear that you just didn't want to be alone? Whatever it is, you're going to have to write that out. You're going to have to um, think about that and research that and figure out what's going on with you. That means that if you are jumping from relationship to relationship or thing to thing without any stability, that means you are attracting a person who is also doing the same, jumping from relationship from thing to thing without any stability. His problem is your problem, but you are also his problem, because you are taking on the burden of being what he needs to be in your own person. That means that you are taking away his agency. You are taking away what he needs to do for himself. I have heard this multiple times through videos, just the elder women saying this: let a man be a man. A man needs to figure it out. How is it that you as a woman can figure this thing out, Go get a job, sometimes two jobs. Go get a place, sometimes um, um, something, a car if you can afford it and everything. You figured it out. I have seen women who struggling to make ends meet, couldn't couldn't rely on the fathers of their children, go out and maybe prostitute or become a stripper or do something to do what they got to do to get the money, to do what they got to do. Now, I'm not saying that that should be permissible. However, people have the right to do whatever they want to do. At the same time, why is it then you're going to do an 8 to 10, I mean 8 to 10 hour job, then go do a second job, then go do some side hustle, do all these different things to make ends meet, but you allow a man to sleep in your bed, to sleep on the couch, do nothing, won't even contribute to cooking, won't even contribute to cleaning the house, won't even keep the kids, won't do anything that reflects an understanding of adulthood. So, what is his problem is something that you got to ask yourself, because then you got to switch that from his to my. What is my problem? Because why am I allowing this particular person who has no clue about life run me down? Then turn the finger to look at you, to point to you. Why am I allowing this person to run me down? Why have I given a person with no stability permission in my life to do this to me? And I always go over the parenting styles, right? And one of them is permissive parenting. And a lot of times, what you do what you know, you do what you have been exposed to. So if your parent was permissive with you, you may be permissive with other people. If your parent was authoritative with you, meaning that whenever you got into trouble, the parent created teachable teachable moments for you to understand what you did wrong and how to correct it. Okay, then you may be authoritative with your own partner, not necessarily being parenting, but you guys come together and have a conversation. Or if you are authoritarian, you may be the type of person, like your parent, who said to you, "Do it because I said so." Well, you may have the same attitude towards your partner, who is a man, a grown man, even if he's acting as a grown boy. Do it because I say so, right? Well, he's going to rebel. He's going, just like he did when he was a child. He's going to rebel. When you think about his problem, does he have a rebellion problem? Does he have a wandering spirit problem? Does he have a vagabond spirit problem? Is he a homosexual? Does he have the type of, is he only living in your house because he needed a place to stay? And if you realize that, if you come to an understanding of that and you still let him stay, what does that say about you? What's going on with you, where you're going to put up with somebody who really doesn't want to be with you, but you want somebody in the house? And a lot of times these women, all of us actually, including myself, when I did do all of this, moved in a man, we don't move them in because we fear for our lives. We don't move them in because we had some sort of trauma situation. We move them in for some kind of convenience. We move them in because we need somebody in the bed. We move them in believing that they're going to contribute in some kind of way financially, even if they gave us a little bit of money on the light bill, right? But we delude ourselves. We play ourselves. We think we have the situation under control. We think we have that person under control, right? Even if we didn't necessarily start off with a relationship to control the person, the fact that you let the person move into your house really does mean that you wanted to control the person. However way that looks, each relationship is different. But however way that looks, when I moved in somebody, the first person that I moved in, I didn't really have any intentions to move him in. What happened was, he spent the night, we had sex, and then somehow he started leaving stuff at my house. Like he would say he needed to come by the house to come get something, and I didn't realize that he started leaving stuff. And I didn't question it. I was bothered by it initially, but I didn't really question it. And then somehow it just became convenient for him to do that. Even if I realized what was going on, I didn't say anything, I didn't challenge it, and that was on me. And so then when the relationships turned toxic, it was hard to get him out, because Come to find out, he didn't have a place to live. So he made it out to be like he actually had a place to live, and he was just spending time with me, being with me, and us, having sex. When in reality, he was lying the whole time. But when I came to an understanding about that, and it was time for him to go because it was getting toxic, and I thought it was cheating on me, it became violent. It was hard to get him out. It was hard to maintain the situation, because when you're not supposed to be in a situation like that, it's not going to work out. It's going to turn sour, and it usually doesn't take that long. It doesn't take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Fools begin acting like fools very early, and that's usually within the first 3 months. The second time was something that I did initiate. I have to take responsibility on that, and that was many many years later. So the first time was 98. The second time was 2013, I think. And that lasted 2 years and 8 months. And that situation turned very sour and very toxic. Come to find out that he was actually married, and he claimed that he didn't know he was married. And then he was messing around with his ex. But long story short, I moved him in because I thought I could help him. He was down, and I was coming up. I was doing better, and I had the money to help him. And I felt like, in my own sense of things, even though come to find out it was wrong, in my own sense of things, I felt like I can help him. Well, he never outlined his problem. He never said anything about his problem. Just because somebody is fussing and complaining, they just may be a person who fusses and complains. He would get on jobs. And the thing is, he would get great jobs. He would be the type of person who would get, like, you know like a really really great job with a brand name company, or um, government or something like that. Those types of jobs I couldn't even get, and he would get those jobs. But somehow he'll get on that job, and I mean literally within 2 or 3 weeks, he's starting trouble. He done got himself into trouble. He done got himself suspended. He writing letters to the HR, disputing anything they said about him. And then eventually he ends up leaving the job. And that would be a cycle. That would be a cycle. And a lot of times you don't realize what they're doing, because you honestly think that the story that they're painting to you is true. It looks like it's the all woe is me story, and everybody is against me story, and all eyes on me type story, and they don't want me to win story, and they want me to fail story. That narrative, those narratives, you believe them. The way that they try to convince you that somebody is doing them wrong. She won't leave me alone, and I try to tell her I don't want her anymore, and she won't leave me alone. But in reality, he's the one who's actually starting all the mess, because he never intended to stay on the job. What he did was perform. What he did was perform. He looked like a person who is a worker. He looked like a person who meant well, and the supervisor is the one who's doing him wrong, and he really wants to keep a job, but this supervisor, he keeps acting up with me, and I just don't think it's right, and everything like that, and I deserve better. He looked like a person who was really being mistreated. He looked like that person. And so then you get caught up in the spell of his delusion and somewhat narcissism, and you don't realize that you're being played. Well, when you think about it, you played yourself, because, like I said, when the the second one, I thought I could help him. I thought I can help him. So if I thought I can help him, what's the big deal? Let me help him. Let me do do what you need to do. I see now that you sort of miss some understanding about things or whatever. Well, I've gone through some stuff. I'm the one making the money right now. So why don't you go to school? Take some time to take some classes. Because if you don't like that job, you don't like the industry, and you want to change in your life, okay, let me help you. I can help you, and we can work together. I had this delusion in my head that we could work together. Okay, that could not be further for the truth from the truth, because even though I was a person who was aspirational and felt like we could work together, he was a loser. Every time he got something, he would find a way to lose it. He was a loser. And that's not to be negative. I know loser is negative, but you have to interpret the problem. What is his problem? He's a loser. He wants to lose. Even if he does not voice it as such, in his mind, he believes he's winning because he got the job, or he did whatever he did. However, he won't stay on the job. He won't stay on it and stay on it 2, 3, 4, 5 years, build up a savings, build up retirement, get health insurance, run himself as an adult. He won't do that. So when you're taking them in, when you're moving them in, and you think you helping them, and you're coming with this like superwoman badge, super superwoman cape, and you're just gonna throw that cape on him, and you're gonna cover him and help him and love him and sex him and cook for him and be everything you want to be for him. You do all of that, and you still don't know what his problem is. You still don't know what the actual problem is until the person spells out what the problem is. Not a bunch of complaining, not a bunch of talking about how the supervisor doesn't want to do this and how this and I can't get ahead. Nuh-uh. That's not the problem. His problem has to be his own irresponsibility, his own instability, his own misunderstanding about what it is to carry himself as an adult. That's the problem. That is the root of the problem. Not all of the surface, dumb, stupid stuff. Because if he, you can tell he doesn't know how to solve his own problems because he keeps moving from person to person, job to job. He won't keep any money, and if he does keep any money, he won't contribute. He won't be in a relationship. He won't take any classes. He won't improve himself. He'll say that he wants to be rich, but he won't make any effort towards uh, um, trying to become rich. It's a word for it. He's just a talker. I can sum it up into that one word. He's a talker, not a doer. That's a problem because he'll talk your head to death about this and this and that. You'll throw your money on it, thinking that's going to solve the problem. Or he'll be crying about some ex and how she's doing him wrong, and you'll throw sex on it because you think that's a solution to the problem. He'll cry about his mama not doing this and doing this or whatever, and then sometimes you'll let him lay on your lap like you are his mother because you think that's the solution to the problem. He'll have all different types of issues that you believe you may be the solution to the problem, but he is his own solution to his own problems. And he himself is his own problem, and you are not his problem. You only become a problem when you project what you think is best for him, for his problems that he has not even spelled out to you. So this is don't move in. What is his problem? Visit reginawhitefavors.com for tips, resource access to videos. Also, for the online store, visit reginawhitefavorsauthor.com. Thank you very much for listening.